Hello, my beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining me with another episode of Spill with me, Jenny D. I'm so excited to have my guest today. My guest is Vinnie Borrelli. Vinnie Borrelli. Hey, I'm a Jennifer Sorrow. That was my maiden name. But we're both Pittsburghers, and he was born and raised in Bloomfield and
That's right.
Little Italy. And he's here today because we met. He wrote a book, and I met him at this book launch. I think it was like a signing, right, Vinnie?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And I thought, wow, he's very interesting. He's got an interesting story and what he's doing now and impacting other people. I said, Vinnie, you need to be on Jenny D. So with further ado, Vinnie, hi, how are you? Say
I'm
hello.
doing well.
To the
Hello.
listeners.
Glad to be here. I'm so excited. Thank you very much.
I'm so glad you're here. So Vinnie, tell us a little bit about, you and, you've lived in Pittsburgh all your life and why you're doing the things you're doing today. Like what has brought you to writing a book?
Sure. So it really came about when I lost my sister many, many years ago in the 80s, 86 in fact. And so I just thought, after going through all this stuff I went through, a lot of people, I would tell the story about what happened to me in my life. They said, you should share that story. And then I thought about it many, many years later, during COVID is actually when I wrote the book. I thought, you know what, it's about time that I do share that story. And the more and more people I got exposed to, the more and more people said, you really need to go higher and bigger with this and help people that have gone through something similar, if not the same.
I'm sorry, Vinnie. How old was your sister when you lost her?
She was 18, I was 13.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
this was
many-
many years ago.
Many years ago, not that many, be careful.
Ooh,
We'll
sorry.
say yes, many years ago, and she had a congenital heart disease, and when I first started telling the story, I think I told you previously that people thought that, well, you're looking for sympathy, empathy. I don't look for any of that. That was way back then. In fact, I could care less if you even comment on that. What I care about is I could share that story because after that, a lot of people, in fact, most people go the wrong way, and I was headed that wrong way, whether it was substance abuse or suicidal thoughts or whatever that was, deep depression. Went through it all, but came out on the other side only through focus and deliberate choices I made. And that's what I want to share with you and with our listeners. To help
Right,
them.
because I think death impacts people so differently. And
It
when
does.
you lose a sibling, and this was your older sister, so, it was like a role model,
Right.
someone you looked up to. So I think everybody kind of at the time when it's happening, and you're young, you're 13 years old, you really don't know how to react or how to talk to somebody or get through it. I mean, there's no such thing as getting through something losing someone that you love. But what made you? So you went through kind of like your life. He was a boxer, not a boxer,
Kickboxing.
a kickboxer, yeah, fighter. He was a fighter, So do you think that like taking your aggression out? And did that help a little
Yes,
bit?
it did. And part of it was even during that grieving period was bullying. So my parents thought martial arts was the best way to go. My father was from Italy, an immigrant. My mother was 100% Italian as well. So they didn't really know how to cope. My father became an alcoholic. My mother went to substances, which, just antidepressants, stuff like that. Nothing major that changed her life or killed her. So the fighting, that's where I got my aggression out. But it didn't really get me much further. You got in the ring, you fought, I won. I was heavyweight champ for a few years back in the 90s, but that didn't help. That wasn't successful at getting me out of that dark place. In fact, it made me even more aggressive because now I knew I could fight and became, a pretty lethal fighter with studying 4 different martial arts. So that was part of it, but it wasn't the answer.
Right.
The answer was getting it out and then helping people and having their pain reciprocated, and we'd go back and forth.
Right. And
So,
so
if
how
that
did
makes
you
sense.
know? Yeah. How did you know, like, okay, I need to go the next level, or I need to do something for me that's going to help me? Like, did you talk to anybody, or, did you know? Because how do you know how to get out of where you are?
I really didn't. I just started putting stuff on paper, but I knew that if I stayed on the road that I was on, my mother was going to bury me, and I was the last sibling. And my mother and father were going to bury another child. And that was kind of like my wake-up call. I got sick a few times, got in a couple motorcycle accidents. I should have been dead. And so a couple of those were, whatever religion you believe in, I just was thanking God, wow, I made it through that. Must not be my time to go. And I'm
He's
not
got a plan for you.
Yeah, and
He's got
he
a
has,
plan.
and yes, whatever you believe in, there's a
Right.
plan for every one of us.
Right.
However, you can prohibit that plan, or you can kind of let it follow the process and go through it. And that's what I did. I went through the process. I'm like, wait a second, there has to be something bigger. If that didn't kill me, must be something else. If this didn't kill me, it has to be something else.
Right.
And most people don't listen to that. They ignore it. and go, well, got through that one, what's next? You know, and people that beat cancer and all that know that for a fact. But it's all about being positive. And, I study a lot of psychoanalytics, neurolinguistic programming. It's all about mental state. If you're positive, like think about when you get up in the morning. And I always say this, it's all about decisions, right?
Exactly.
The first decision, hit snooze. You already lost part of the day. That was your first decision. You should have just not hit snooze, got up.
Oops.
Yeah, you probably all do that. Don't do it. But, so then you hit it again. So that's choice one.
Yeah.
So make the right choices every day, because everything, like look at the choices you did when you were a teenager. They dictated who you are when you were in your 20s. So you fix things from your teenage years in your 20s. Then you make mistakes in your 20s. You're fixing them in your 30s. Right. So if you try, and we're all going to make mistakes.
Right, because we're learning as we go.
All of us,
the world keeps changing on us, so it's kind of making us like think more. And technology and social media and things have really impacted our lives so differently than it was when we were younger.
Right, but I just try to enforce, make the right choices, have sacrifices, but deliberate ones. Not the sacrifice where you're like, oh, couldn't go golfing with the guys and you're mad about it, but I want to make that sacrifice today so I could be with my family or my wife or my spouse or my mother who I may not see again. So those are deliberate choices, deliberate sacrifices you make. So that's what I try to really harp on. Make the right decisions every day, and they're not always going to be the best, but try to put maybe 10. I think I spoke about that on the radio. Put 10 things, goals a day. Even if you hit 3, you're ahead of most people statistically.
10 goals a day. I love it.
That's right.
So your 10 goals a day, that would be, like you said, go golfing. Stop and see somebody. Maybe call somebody you haven't talked to in a long time.
Get up on time.
Yes.
Go to the gym. Eat something right, not something bad. Just even little ones. They don't have to be, big goals. Just 10 goals a day. And some of them can be big, and it could be monitored and adjusted every day. But every day have some goals, and that gives you some purpose and direction every day.
So Vinnie does a lot of, I always say that he has a lot of hats because, he works a full-time job, but he's also being, what would you call, like a motivational speaker for people?
Yeah, inspirational,
you're
motivational.
Coach, you're kind of getting people where they're stuck in a rut and you're like, you know what, you're like that person there. You're like their cheering person.
Right.
Like you're like, hey, you can do it.
Right.
I got myself out of this.
That's right.
You can do it.
Yeah, and it's really, yes, I guess you could call me all those. Inspirational coach, life coach, whatever you want to call, just friend. In fact, I encourage people to text me, and it's not a charge to talk on the phone. I think a lot of my childhood friends and people I know are afraid to call me, like, are you going to bill me for that? I'm still a person. I want to talk to you if you're going through something. I have a couple of friends that call me now that have gone through divorce or just something bad, lost someone in their life. And that's why in my book, it says a journey from pain to passion to prosperity. Pain is where we're at. Into passion is, what is the passion to get you out of that pain, and what is it that you want? What does it take to make you happy? Like I would ask you, you have something every day. What is it that makes you tick? But then into prosperity, meaning once you can get through that, what makes you prosperous? And it has nothing to do with, we just spoke about, it has nothing to do with a car or a house.
Yeah, with material things.
Nothing material, has nothing. If that's what it takes, if you want a Lamborghini, so be it. If that makes you happy, go for it. But I can tell you, I speak to so many multimillionaires that have come from nothing. Some of them don't even have a GED. And oh God, there's some in the media, that don't even have college degrees. So it doesn't take that. But a lot of them are really miserable, and they're multimillionaires. They can have helicopters if they'd like.
It's not about the money.
It's just
money doesn't buy happiness.
No, it does not. Right. Absolutely. But it's a mental state does. So there's people that have mountain bikes that live in a 600-foot box, and they're more happier. They're happier than the multimillionaire that could have anything he wants. So. Right. Just to erase that prosperity thing, just eliminate that in people's minds. So being prosperous is being sound, being whole in your life.
I like that, because I never even thought about that word like that.
Mm-hmm. Even with your children.
Say that again, hon.
Being just happy, sound, and really content with where you are in your life. That's more of prosperity to me. Because by definition, it really doesn't have anything to do with anything monetary.
But, in the world we live in, though, Vinnie, like jealousy and I wish I looked like that, or I wish I had that car, or I wish this, and and I don't know if it's more women than men that are more like inferior or insecurities about ourselves.
Sure.
And I really think you get to that moment in your life. I mean, I'm 51, and you realize that what I did back then has really transformation or something like has to do with me now.
Sure.
And then you learn from that.
Right.
But don't you feel like the light bulb went off and you're like, this is what I need to do.
Yes.
This is what I'm meant to do.
Yes. And I'll give my age out too, since she did. I was waiting for her to do it. So I'm 50, and you're right. At 50, you think back, like, when are you gonna not want to do this, dwell on and harp on those things that, like you just said, we did before in the past. When the light bulb went off for me, when Facebook and social media all came out, like you said, that there's so many things out there. Like we just spoke about, if you were unhappy, nobody knew except your immediate family, your friends. If you were overweight or you were too skinny, whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, or you lost your dog, not 7,000 people that you're friends with didn't know.
Right.
The 7 that you're 17, whatever it is that you're around, they knew. But now people post and boast, and it's such a shallow, which means it's an inferiority complex to post that today you bought a new car. No one really cares.
Nobody cares.
No one cares. No one cares about your life that you lost your girlfriend or boyfriend or spouse. They really don't. But it's an attention thing, and that a lot of friends of mine don't like that I talk about it. I'm not anti-social media, but with cyberbullying, statistically, I told you previously, drug addiction's up, substance abuse, depression, suicide. It's all up as a direct correlation to social media because people, again, are exposed. And, kids are evil. Yeah. Whether you have a disability, mentally, physically, whatever that is, or you just look different. You get beat up on this. So the light bulb went off when I thought, wow, I was that person that kind of got bullied, had a little bit of a speech impediment as a kid, went to the dummy van, got a little bit of bullying, and then after my sister and all that stuff, whatever. Fast forward to today, there's kids. Wasn't that bad that I took a substance to try to kill myself, or actually took a gun and actually did it, or hung myself, or whatever that is that people choose to do. So I've thought, wow, I can help people, get through this and just be happy. Be happy. You're not promised the next day. And when I worked in Children's Hospital, I saw kids fighting for their lives, including my sister back then. But now, today, I always tell people, if you're depressed about you're late on your credit card payment and you're depressed about your mortgage or something, spend a day with me at Children's Hospital with the two parents that have to make a decision on their 4-year-old or 5-year-old that this may be the last day. So you're not guaranteed tomorrow. So why not live your fullest version of you today? Make it work.
It's so hard to do that.
I know, but you have to mentally do
it. I do try to live day by day.
It is hard.
My husband's more of like, okay, so next year we'll go on vacation here. And I'm always like, no, I want to live in the moment.
Yeah.
I do want to live in, and I try. I really do try.
Yeah.
And
you gotta have parameters.
Yes.
I'm not saying live just radically, and so loosely, but like you said, live in the moment. And it is hard. It's very hard. If it was easy, if it was easy to be positive every day, then there wouldn't be wars and we wouldn't have road rage and shootings and fights. But that's why it's hard. You have to have that mindset and focus on being positive, because again, it's so easy to be negative. You turn on the news, what do you see? Not Jenny D and Vinnie are talking today. Whoa, you see that this one got killed, that one got burned down, this child got shot, this house, it's all negative. And it pulls you in. It's designed, so is social media, to suck you in. It's like the same, the dopamine is released just as it is gambling, drinking, smoking. It's the same. It's the same. It's a scientific fact. Not Vinnie Borrelli or Jenny D's fact. It's a fact.
How do we get our mind, sometimes when you see something, I sometimes can't get it out of my mind, all day. I'm so upset or so depressed about something. And I try so hard to say, and like you said, okay, Jenny D, don't feel sorry for yourself. There's somebody else out there going through something worse. Then you get the guilt again.
I know.
We got to stop guilting ourselves.
That's what it is. Everyone is so, and that's not to knock people, but self-absorbed. Don't be selfish. Be selfless. Because again, you said
I like that, selfless.
Yeah, but you have to be selfless, because I met guys. Oh God, I just met one in Phoenix, Arizona. I was at a conference, and he had one leg, but he was born with it. He didn't lose it. Okay. So it wasn't a tragedy. It was a deep down depressed person who was born with one leg, who couldn't get a prosthesis to have 2 legs, one fake, one real. He couldn't do a lot of things. He got teased from birth to God till now, and now he's a big motivational speaker. And I just met him, took pictures with him, I spoke with him, and he is more positive than anyone I know, including myself. And so how does a person like that, he has crutches forever now, but since he was born till now, and he's I think 39, 40 years old, there's guys that were born with no arms and legs. Right. That one Nick, he's a motivational speaker, I don't want to promote anyone, but he is on stage. They pick him up and put him on stage. You're depressed because you lost your girlfriend? Come on, guys, men and women out there, come on. I know. Refocus. And you do want to, there's nothing wrong with feeling guilty for yourself.
How great is that they, took something, that, they look different or they act different or something. about them's different. And they took that and they ran with it and said, you know what? So what? So what? Look at me. I don't care. Look at me. Stare at me.
Right.
But I'm here to tell you it's okay.
Right.
I'm okay. You know, we can talk about this. You want to know what happened to me? I think people want to know. They're like,
Yes.
well, what happened? You know, they're interested, or we're curious as humans to know, like, you know, how did that happen? Or, you know, I think that's really something that, like you said, our mindset, we're always,
It's all mindset.
there's so much things going on in our
Yeah,
minds.
there is. And you just have to work at waking up happy because you woke up. Like gratitude, you know, the best attitude to have is towards gratitude. And there's so
Somebody
many
else
books to talk
that
about.
told me that.
Oh God, it's in every book. Yeah.
Gratitude.
Yeah, have the attitude of gratitude, because if you wake up every day thankful, then you should start your day on a positive note. You know, you can't wake up. How can you wake up and be miserable when you just woke up? Some
The
people
sun is
don't wake up,
shining.
even if
The
it's
sun
raining.
is- yeah, right.
Even if it's raining, you still are awake to see the rain.
Yeah.
There's some people that won't see the rain or sun again, or that are in a hospital room and have to see it outside, you know, through a window. You know, like my mother always focuses on negative stuff, and that's the old Italian way. That I remember when the Powerball was $1 billion, and I said, "What would you do with that kind of money?" She said, "Well, you'd still have to pay taxes on it." What? You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you do with the $500 million that you would
Yeah.
clear? Well, I don't know. Just pay off your house. Okay, again, like there's no concept. There's
Yeah.
always some negativity, or it could be a day like this, no clouds. You know, we might go to the park. Oh, I hope it doesn't rain today. Well, where in the heck did it say it was going to rain? Like, it's always, see, that's just natural for some people to always look at, like they always say,
It's
look
almost
through
like
the window.
conversation too, like when you're talking to somebody. Oh,
Right.
I hope it's, you know, instead of saying, it's a beautiful day, let's just enjoy the day. I know.
I hope I don't walk out of this library and get hit by a bus too, but you can't think about
It'll
it.
start raining as soon as we
I know.
do.
Yeah,
Nice
it's contradictory
going,
to what I say. Yeah, great. It's going to hail today.
I know, right?
It's 90 degrees. It's going to hail today. But yeah, so you just got to focus on trying to be positive. It's very hard. It's very hard.
It's very hard. And like you said, your mindset, wake up every day and just, you know, somebody else told me this, and I'm like so bad at doing this, but they said, wake up and journal and say, this is what I'm going to do today.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to get done. I mean, I write a list of like, okay, I'm meeting with Vinnie, I got to get my coffee, you know,
Right.
stupid crap like that. I got to go to the grocery store. But if you wake up and do a journal where you're saying, hey, today, you know, I'm going to sit and read a couple, I don't know, things in the book with Vinnie's book, which is, you know, show our
Oh, sure,
listeners your
yeah.
book.
It's called Personal Prosperity Blueprint. And like
Yeah.
we just said, it's a journey from pain to passion to prosperity. And we'll talk about some of the pillars that I think that'll help you. But yeah, you journal. It goes kind of hand in hand with the 10 pillars, or excuse me, 10 goals of your day.
Yeah.
Write 5 things you're grateful for. You can't wake up and write. A lot of people say, if you offset your mind by all the bad things that are going on today, stop for 1 minute before you go into the whatever's negative that's going to happen, and just write 5 things that you're grateful for today, and I guarantee you'll be happy.
Yeah.
Like, one is I'm happy I woke up today. There you go. I'm happy that I have this roof. I'm happy that I have a car. A lot of people complain about the traffic. Well, at least you have a car. There's some people that are driving in the rain or riding their bike to work, or don't
I
have.
saw somebody walking to work today.
Yeah, there you go. So
On 19, like on the highway, and I was like, you know, and it's Samaritans, you know, good Samaritans. We're scared now.
Yeah.
We're scared to pick somebody up
right,
because
right.
we're, instead of just being, you know what, this person could be the nicest person.
that's right. But even that person, so you could.
They don't want to get in the car with us.
They might, right? Yeah, they might. I want to walk. You know, I'm healthier than you. You're driving.
Yeah,
but
right.
even that person, they might be happier than you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And you can ask them. You can't stop. I mean, I wish I could. I love interviewing people, but I wish I could say, hey, Joe, why are you walking to work? Because I have 2 legs and can walk. There you go. He could be in a wheelchair. The guy in a wheelchair can say, at least I can will myself to work. So there's no stopping on how much positivity you can think, even though you may think that person, or we think, they're having a rough day, they're walking to work. They might say, yeah, well, my Lamborghini's in the shop. I want to get exercise. My helicopter's broke down. We don't know.
I have my private jet.
Right, my private jet is broke. You know, it's broke down right now, so I'm walking.
You don't think about that.
You
though,
don't know,
Vinnie.
right? And again, they have 2 legs to walk to work. Some people don't.
Yeah, and you know, that's why I started this podcast, because I was like, you don't know what somebody's going through.
That's right.
You don't, and we all have a story. We all have things that are happening in our lives or that have happened to us that, you know, we can bring to each other and help each other out, because not everybody, you might be like, I had the perfect life, or, you know, I was like Leave It to Beaver, or Brady Bunch life, you know. I don't know if that exists, but,
Yeah.
you know, that's great. I'm happy for you, but there's going to be a time where you're going to need some help, and you're going to need someone like Vinnie to just say, hey, bounce things off of, you know. And, you know, so tell us, Vinnie, get to that mind where you said to yourself, I am going to write a book because I need to do this?
So yeah, my mindset was, it was during COVID, and it really started with complaining. A lot of people were complaining about, well, they can't. Now remember, during all this, not to be negative, but during all this, people were dying, right? Whether it was COVID or not, whatever the hospitals were, right?
The unknown.
And I had friends complaining that can't go on our golf outings, can't go to my like football games. Like what?
My vacation.
But you don't know, and I always talk about professional sports, and I'm not anti-Steelers, Penguins, Pirates here in Pittsburgh, you know, but if you know more about Ben Roethlisberger when he was our quarterback than you do about your own wife, something's misaligned. You know, you should revisit your life. And they're like, well, my wife, and anyway, or my husband, that if they're complaining about something, maybe you should listen to them for once and not think about, well, I'm going to miss my golf outing. Maybe your wife's saying, I want to spend more time with you. Or your husband's saying, don't go to that girl's retreat or whatever. Just not all the time. We all need our space. But so it started when my friends were complaining about that. I'm thinking, wow, they're all going to be negative. So what I'm going to do is do something productive and inspirational and finish my story. And it was so hard. I think I had like 1,000 words. I needed like 30,000 words.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone try to write it just on one piece of paper. Yeah. Just a story of your day. It's not that easy. So it was especially for me.
First of all, I can't write.
Yeah, I'm not great either. Grammatically, if it wasn't for my wife.
My grammar.
Oh God, if it wasn't for my wife, nothing was legible. It was all Pittsburghese. My wife was like, "Wow, how did you get through school?" And she's a school teacher, special needs. But anyway, so I started writing, and I came up with, if you don't mind, the 4 pillars in the book.
Yes.
And there's 4 pillars.
Yes.
And I'll keep them brief. The first one is the removal of toxic and negative people.
Okay.
And that's pillar 1. And what that means is getting rid of the people that bring you down daily, bring you down weekly, and you can never, like we just spoke about,
negative people.
You can, and they're toxic. They always want to talk about, you know, you could say, Jen,
like they want to complain about their husband.
Yeah, you could say you and your husband are going on a cruise, and they're like, oh, really? That's great. Where are you guys going? Oh, you're going there. Okay, great. Did you hear what happened to Joe? His dog bit. Like, it's just, they always redirect something positive and then negative. So that's pillar 1.
Yeah.
Pillar 2 is setting the tempo of your day, like we just talked about, making the right decisions from the moment you wake up till your evening. That's very difficult. I get it.
Yeah.
But start with getting up out of bed, jumping out of bed, and being thankful.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, though, Vinnie. It's like, say you had a bad day the day before, and then you have those dreams, those bad dreams too, and then you wake up. You wake up and thinking about the dream or about something that happened to you. How do you get your mind out of it?
It's hard. You should. That's part of writing it down and journaling. You know, I would write it down and really just get it out on paper and then revisit it. You can't not talk about it, because I still talk about bad dreams I have with my wife and stuff, but and then move on from it. You know, park it and leave it there. Yeah. You know, that's the best advice.
All right. So what is number 3?
Excuse me. Number 3 is a relationship with you. That is, what is your relationship with yourself? Are you content being who you are? And a lot of people that I coach, I say, do you know who you are? You know, where you are today and what you want to be. And meaning what you want to be is what makes you happy. You know, there's people that work at Starbucks that are happier than the surgeons I work with. Right. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people say about you, Jenny or Vinny. It's who do you want to be that makes you happy. Because everyone's worried about what other people think.
Oh my gosh, please.
Right?
I was that person.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I mean, I worried about the way I looked on, social media, and, and I just compared myself, and I didn't want to show my arms or legs or something, the insecurities that you would have. Right. And now that, I'm not going to say it again, but now when you hit a milestone in your life, you're like, oh, well, this is me. Yeah. This is who I am. Yeah. You want to look nice, but who you looking nice for? That's right. And that's just all begins with you. Yeah. Looking in the mirror and saying, I'm happy with me. I love myself. And not cocky and arrogantly, but you got to love yourself and love what you do. If not, adjust and do what you want to do to make you happy. So that's the relationship with you. And lastly is the process of preparation and discipline. And that's all that means is preparing for the future, even though I focus on living today and being happy today and doing what you want today, but being disciplined, giving up some things to get somewhere better. Not regretting, making those, I always say, deliberate decisions or deliberate sacrifices to make you happy, and not looking back and go, I should have done that, or I should have did this. And it goes back to, I really focus on a lot of my friends that are unhappy with their relationships, whether it's a girlfriend or even a friend. They don't want to go out with that buddy, or they don't want to, they just say, well, I used to do that. Like, you ever hear that people say, I used to go out all the time. Yeah, I used to go out all the time. Where I used to get my wife flowers. We used to go to dinner dates all the time. Used to is the key word. So when did you stop that? And when your wife
talks to her friends, if you're a fly on the wall, and perhaps you could hear those conversations that she said, yeah, we used to go to dinner. Now he just goes golfing all the time or goes to the basketball tournaments. Nothing wrong with going to that, but if you forgot what made you that couple, what made you have that solid foundation in your life, and that foundation that became you two as a couple, whether it was dinners, I don't care if it's Taco Bell. Go to Taco Bell on Fridays, and it's not about going to a big fancy.
Disconnecting.
It's disconnecting, right? So reconnect with their spouse or even your friends, and don't live off I think Matthew McConaughey said, don't live off the crumbs of the past. It's something you used to do. I used to get her flowers. I used to buy my husband his can of tobacco or whatever it is. Don't live off the crumbs, because that's how you lose the passion in your life with whoever it is, even your friends. I've lost so many friends that, like, well, you think you're better. No, I don't, not at all. I'm just refocusing my life.
But were
on,
they your friends?
Truly, truly, I don't think so.
If they're jealous,
right.
They're not your friends.
Right, because your good friends should want you to be better. But unfortunately, in this...
They should be behind you going, all right, this is my buddy Vinnie.
Right,
doing
be your
great
cheerleader,
things.
yes. Should be clapping you
and we'll
on.
do that, you do that for other people.
Yes, and I don't care if it's what you want to do in your life. I don't care if your goal is to be the best ticket taker at Kennywood, if there's ticket takers anymore. God, I'm dating ourselves, but whatever. Working at a hot dog stand.
Right.
If that makes you happy, you want to be the best one, then call me. I'll help you be the best one. I'll help you be the best version of you. But you have to have an open mind, and again, allow that to happen. Right. And so many people are just, don't be so closed-minded. Wake up, wake up. This is the game of life. Don't be the spectator.
Right.
And then when it comes to the end, because they say on the deathbed, when everyone's on their deathbed, on the deathbed, that's when the most things come out it's never that I regret what I did do, right? It's only I regret what I didn't do.
What I didn't do.
And you can't take all these dreams and goals to the grave. So if you have dreams and goals, make them happen. That's why I speak on Mondays, Make It Happen Monday, because make it happen. Do something today that's going to make you happy.
Right.
Period. You don't worry about everybody else.
I know, and as we talk about it, Vinnie, I think that our lives, as we go through certain kind of things that happen, I feel that we can say it till we're blue in the face, like, I'm okay. But sometimes you need that help. Right. You need that person. Maybe it's not your friend or your family. Maybe you need a third person to talk to that doesn't know you, but you can tell them about what you've been through. And you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's okay to get help. It's okay.
It is. And I like, Spill With Me, Jenny. I like it because I thought about it on the way over. Spill with me, Jenny. So spill all your emotions into your day. Spill all your focus into what you want to do. Spill all your energy into making yourself happy and living today for the moment. Again, not radically and just being crazy out there, but living and spilling everything you have into what you want to do to make you happy every day. Right. Not wait till next week. And you can't be 100% just one or two days a week to be successful.
Right.
You got to do it every day. And it's about habits. Habits actually define us, right?
I know. Like a routine.
I
keep saying, when my kids go back to school, I'll get back in a routine. Like I'll go to the gym.
Can't do it. You got to do it now.
Yeah, I know.
And it's morning routines and nighttime routines.
I think I need Vinnie in my life.
Morning routines and nighttime routines. And my wife, if she was here, she'd say, I do the same thing every night before I go to bed. I do the same thing every morning. Yeah. Call me a creature of habit. And sometimes even take the same way to work or wherever I'm going. It's just we're all creatures of habit. But if you create those nighttime routines and morning routines, I'm telling you, things start to fall into place. And if you're more positive. We all have
bad days. We all have our bad days.
We do.
Now tell us about this book. Now you wrote it. Now let's see, the cover is that you?
So the cover is me, when I was, going in about bad place, right? The dark, I was fighting my own emotions. That's my logo on my t-shirt, but I was fighting my own emotions and just always depressed and very nasty, very bitter. Not a good person. I'm very transparent. And a lot of people that knew me back then know that, I was pretty nasty with friends, relationships, whatever it may be, fighting.
You were hurting inside.
Yes, and so this is me looking towards the future, wanting to come out of that. Mm-hmm. And then that's me today. It doesn't matter if you're in a suit or in a construction, a tank top. Right. That's just what I'd like to do. I polished myself up and became something that I wanted to be, Right. And I'm still bettering myself every day. But the book is just about that journey. That at the end of it, you should put this down and go, wow, you can make choices today that can change your future and can change the trajectory of your life in a positive way. So, it's on Amazon. I got Amazon bestseller and all that. Great. I didn't care much about that.
It's real life. It's real stories.
It's just
about real people.
It's genuine. It's authentic. Growing up in Little Italy, And you know, I want to write another book more about Little Italy, because people lose that the neighborhoods of playing kickball and tag and release.
Oh my gosh, we are dating ourselves.
Most people, the kids think it's not an app, it's an actual game. You go outside, wiffle ball, you know.
Freeze tag.
Yeah, freeze tag. It's not an app, it's
We
a game.
had so many funny games.
But go out tonight in your street between after school 3 to 7. It's crickets. You know, everyone's on their laptop, or they're on YouTube, or they're on Twitter, or TikTok, or
Oh my gosh.
Snapchat.
And all the activities after school, like the sports and stuff, everything's like, you know, by the time you get home, you eat dinner, you do homework, and go to bed.
There's no more playing outside. So
even in the summer, though, Vinny, I noticed that maybe it was too hot, or I didn't see kids riding their bikes and stuff.
right. Oh God, it's such a everyone.
It's a different time.
Yeah, and it's sad because our kids aren't going to know what it was like to play outside till the street lights went out.
That's how you knew your neighbors. Like
That's
that's how
right.
you got to know people.
Oh God, we'd run into our neighbor's house. We'd get scolded and smacked in the butt by them.
Yeah.
If we were
Now,
bad.
now there's all these new neighbors moving in. I have no idea who.
Someone
they are.
comes to your door now, you're like, what the heck? Who's there? Look
Yeah.
at the camera. Check the ring. Get the weapon.
I'm like, pretend we're not here.
Yeah.
Everybody be quiet.
Shut the lights. Yeah. It's a telemarketer. You never know today, right?
I know.
But-
Selling door by door is like.
That and you know, in closing on the book, that's all it is. It's really about just a journey of how
So
people
what are
can
you
live.
here to do for other people? Like, if there's somebody out there like, okay, well, you know, how do I get a hold of Vinny, or would Vinny be able to help me? Like, who
Sure.
are you looking for?
I'm looking for anyone from high school to college and anyone, even adulthood, that has no direction, that just needs motivated. I don't care what you're depressed about, what you've lost, what you've gained. You might have won the lottery and still may not have direction, be motivated to do something. That's the people I want to help.
Yeah.
Just anybody. I don't care if you lost your cat or you lost your brother, sister, mother, father. You know, I want to motivate people to see what you can be.
See
What's
through
your
your
true
eyes,
potential?
maybe,
Yeah,
and
what's your
see
true
what you've seen,
right, but
yeah.
what is your true potential? Do you know what it is? You know, have you tried to, you know, a lot of people when I had restaurants and bars and stuff, they said, well, you failed at all that. But you know what I do know is that I could do it. You
At
know,
least you tried.
yeah, fail or succeed. Do you know what you can fail or succeed at, the listener? You do? Maybe if you do, then you don't need me. If you don't, how do you know that you could have not succeeded?
Right.
Most people were worried about what could go wrong instead of worrying about all the things that could go right.
Yeah.
So stop worrying, because everyone, you know, you say you're going to do something, entrepreneurial wise, that is, which I love to do, and I still do stuff, but they always go, oh, how are you going to do that? You know what? I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out.
Right.
Do you know how to do this or that? Nope, but I'll learn. You know, how did the doctor become the doctor? How did the astronaut become an astronaut?
Right.
They didn't know. You weren't born an astronaut. You know, you weren't born doing what
Right.
you're doing. I wasn't born a speaker.
So you gotta find your passion.
Right, exactly. That's what I want to do.
Vinny and I found I took me till I was 50 years old. So
Right.
Vinny's trying to help you along the way. So maybe
Yes.
you find your passion a little bit earlier.
Absolutely.
And that you can really help people and motivate people, or just be you and be happy with you.
Right. Yep,
You know, I
absolutely.
mean, tell us about your website.
So website is VinnieBorrelli.com, VinnieBorrelli.com. And I, you know, sometimes I miss some updates, but you can find all the information you need to find me there.
Okay.
But please reach out to me, my personal
Should they
text.
reach out to you
Sure.
through?
They can.
Yeah, your
Right
website.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Or on
that's perfect.
Facebook. I'm all over
Okay.
Facebook. VB Motivate Me is another one you can find me on. But on Facebook Live, Sunday nights, 7 o'clock, I do Significant Sunday.
Oh, do you? I didn't know that.
Significant Sunday. Yeah, it's just a brief. It started out as spiritual, but I kind of pulled away because some people don't believe in that. I just believe in manifesting what you want. You know, the
Yeah.
more you focus on what you want to be, you can manifest that through focus and, you know, like The Secret and all those things that are out there. It's a fact. The more positive you give out, the more positive comes back.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think people should just try.
I feel so positive. Now I want
Just
to like conquer the day today, Vinny. You got me all like, okay, what can I do?
Excuse me.
Now
That's a good day.
I'm gonna open my own restaurant.
We're gonna go buy a yacht together,
Yes.
and we're gonna take on the
I'll
world.
take the yacht into the Monongahela.
Yeah, our fancy. Yeah, we're gonna dock at the game and watch the game, and everyone will join us, and we'll tie off. Is
Oh,
that what people
I
do?
know. And you know, I find that listening to music and kind of soothes me now.
Yeah.
And I listen to all different genres. I've been listening to a lot of country lately. I just like the words and some of the stories. It's so, as you get older, you find what makes you happy. What makes you look in the mirror and say, I'm okay. I can do this.
Right.
I can wake up every day. I'm going to have my bad days.
Indeed.
And hopefully you have more good days than bad days.
Yes.
Oh, Vinny.
Indeed.
Now, before we go, is there anything else you would like to tell the listeners?
No, just please reach out to me. I want to help people out. I'm not looking for anything that's for me. This isn't a
No, we're nationwide, so
a
if somebody
personal-
from another state, Vinny, wants to get a hold of you,
Sure, they
just
can.
go through your website.
Yeah, or call my cell phone, text me. I could care less.
Yeah.
This isn't an ego thing. The radio stuff that I do, my wife and I just talked about. It's not an ego thing. I don't need to be on a billboard.
Right.
I need to help people because that makes me feel good.
Me too.
And I don't get a lot out of it. I really don't.
We're like-
selling the book, yeah, great. Don't buy the book. In fact, if you don't want to, I'll send you one.
Oh.
I will. I'll send you one. Text me. I'll send you one.
You're so generous.
I just
You
wanna-
really are
it's
good
just
for me.
genuine. Thank you.
You can just feel. I can feel it in the room. This guy is here to help people.
Yes, and people that don't know me,
I love
some
it.
people that don't know me have stuff to say. They really do. They have an opinion. But the people
Everybody
that
has an opinion.
yes, but the people that got to know me, and I love this, and I hope you say it as well. Do you say that? But do you ever spend 5 minutes with me, then make your own decision?
Right.
Because I would love to hear your opinion after that. Just spend 5 minutes with me, and then you'll see exactly what I'm doing and why I want to help, and that I am just genuine, authentic. Period. End of it.
Yes. I love it because you're, and I don't even know Vinny that well. I mean, I only met him like twice, talked to him on the phone for a while,
Right.
but I feel like I know you
Yes.
because I feel like we're in the same kind of, not industry, but we're both those type of people that want to help people.
That's true. That's
Because
true.
we know that what we've been through or some of the things that happened to us, that it's okay. You can get through it.
That's
You're
right.
not the only one out there going
But
through
I
it.
agree. I feel the same with you, Jenny. My wife and I said that. We're like, it's like we knew each other, but it's about the energy and just being
And your
open.
wife's great.
Thank you. Yeah,
She's
Nicole's. Yeah,
beautiful.
she's my. Without her, I don't know where I'd be. But
Ah,
it's just the energy and looking at people. And that's another thing. When you meet someone, just look them in the eyes for 2 seconds. You don't have to be a creep and weird. It takes 2 seconds. I meet so many people like, yeah, Vinny, nice to meet you. How you doing? Okay, yeah, nice to meet you too. See ya, beat it.
Well, that's what I've learned with this podcast is I learned to listen. And I learned to look people in the eyes and really focus on what they're talking about. Yeah, I could be thinking about all these 10 million things I need to get done, but I don't want to. My mind wants to just focus on you and what you're planning on doing and what you're giving back. And you're giving so much back, Vinny.
Thank
I'm
you.
so
You are
happy
too. Yeah,
for
me too.
you.
I'm honored to be here. I love
I'm so
it.
happy to get to know
Thank
you
you.
and to say you're my friend. Vinny's my friend. So
right, me too.
I will have all this stuff in the description if you need to look up Vinny and his website and Facebook
Thank
and
you.
things like that. So just get a hold of us and we will definitely get you in the right contact.
Sounds good. Thank you so
And
much.
I so appreciate you being on Spill with me, Jenny.
I appreciate you having me.
Oh yeah, and you know what? We're gonna have you back.
Yeah,
We're definitely
sounds
gonna
good.
have you back.
Sounds good to me.
Well, this was Spill with me, Jenny D. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.